Back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in my channel. This is all my thoughts and my opinions. This is the case of the Idaho. I still have plenty of questions. This is the backsliding door of 1122 King Road at night. You can clearly see a lot. Why would a stranger dare to come into a house like this? The lights were up so well. It was almost Thanksgiving. Halloween just passed by. On November 13, 2022, the lights were on like this. DM and BF were supposed to be at home. Maddie and Katie came home at 1:56. Koberg had no motive to go into this house. If you have no motives, you don't have any targets. This doesn't make sense. If the suspect came from the behind, why was the front door left wide open? At 8:30 in the morning, one of the neighbors noticed it. Was it to get the smell to be lesser? Because there were 4 humans who were deceased. I remember the coroner said it happened sometime after 2 a.m. in the morning. She was talking freely in the beginning of this case. Later on, they gagged her up. There was a Sigma Chi fraternity party happening that night. That is the same night that the fight allegedly happened between the Davids, Zana and Ethan. This picture was taken on the 8th of November, a couple of days before the quadruples. You can see President Scott Green and the frats, Sigma Chi. You see David Lodge there. David Lodge was a sober guy that night, apparently, sober watch guy. He decided to do it on his own will. Quite interesting. I wonder if he wanted to do it so that he would have a timeline. And how convenient. He could be driving David Lodge's white truck around. We saw it parked at 1:56. Sigma Chi fraternity allegedly are involved because if you watch this documentary on Amazon Prime, Hunter Chapin clearly says, and I believe personally that he's lying, he says that Ethan and Zana were with me in my frat, he means in his fraternity room, up to 1:45. So if they came home 1:45, what happened to them? He would be one of the last people to see them. His sister said she fell asleep, and she said it wasn't like Ethan to text me, "I love you." What was going on? There was a couple of red flags going on. The behavior pattern. The triplet would know the best. She would know best. She knows her brother the best. And they seem to be quite close. So one of the triplets, Hunter Chapin, says Ethan and Zana were with me right up to 1:45. What happened after 1:45? We have David Barachua. David B. is clearly saying that he himself was the sober guy driving people around to safety, looking after people who were intoxicated that night. What a convenient job to take if you're out to target someone. So if the four figures were running, maybe he did not run. He was driving. He had a car. Wonder what car or what truck he was driving. David B. is saying he was being attacked on social media and everywhere. People were saying that he and David Lott, obviously, and they did the crimes. He doesn't mention David Lott, but obviously that was the word going around about the 4chan. Conveniently enough, he was the sober guy. So he was driving people around. He said that he met Zana. He did not say where. He said we spoke a bit and she said we should chill. And I said, yes, how come we haven't done that before? We should. And he said later on that it was an eerie night. He said, I locked my doors. So did Hunter Chapin and Emily. Was it eerie or did he know? Was this pre-planned? I believe it was pre-planned. Let's not forget, Ethan called David B. and David Lott buddies. He called them GAY. And David Lott was on steroids. He was in his own mood. And he didn't want to be disrespected. Where was Pete Rock that night? Where was the other Sigma Chi fraternity members? Why is Hunter Chapin saying Ethan and Zana was with him? That means he was in the party. He said, me and my brother do not separate. We do everything together. This is David Baracho saying in the interview. People were telling him, turn yourself in, punk. You did it. You did the crime. SK, they were calling him. This guy was actually enjoying the communication, the correspondence going up and down between him and the whole of social media. He was taking this as a game. And he was one of the last people to see Zana. He admitted himself. I wonder if the police and the FBI have taken proper interviews of them. David B. was saying people was attacking him on social media and everywhere. And this was going on for a while. So the Sigma Chi fraternity boys, David B. and David Lott, and a couple of the others, were always under the microscope. They were under investigation. Kobaga couldn't have done these crimes because the timelines doesn't put him there. If he was there at 4 a.m., he was there for some other reason, because the unalivings already happened, in my opinion. He was saying once again, I feared for my life. People were sending me threats, emails, and such things. Nobody needs to go through that. But there was a reason. The college students were naming him as a suspect, one of the main suspects. He was Ethan's tutor. He was having a rough time doing his job correctly. He and David Lott had a thing allegedly going on. There was a fight at the party. You can imagine Ethan announcing such things allegedly. And these guys have a reputation to protect. All of them are on pills and drugs and such things. David Lott was on steroids. That makes people aggressive. This one was always had fantasies of DEATH, especially unalivings. I find it a coincidence that that night he happened to be the sober guy. His job is to make sure everyone goes home safely, drive everyone home safely. Did you, by any chance, drive Zana home, David B? You said you saw Zana. You've always said that in this program. You saw Zana, and she told you we should chill. And you said, yeah. Why haven't we done that before? So what time was this? Where was this? Did you give Zana a lift home? Did you give Ethan a lift home? Did things get bad? Was Ethan still disrespecting y'all? What happened that night? Was the Sigma Chi fraternity and Alpha Kappa Lambda boys involved? What was going on? Who were your targets? Was 4chan right? He said before in one of his articles, or not articles, on one of his posts on Facebook, he was arguing with someone which was on social media. And the person mentioned 4chan. He said not everything of 4chan is true. So I wonder what part is true. So if there's some things that are untrue, which parts are true? Were the targets right? Ethan, Zana, and Mary? Katie was just there at the wrong time, wrong place at the wrong time. You said that yourselves. 4chan snitched on you. You did it in 90 minutes, from 2:53 up to the figures running at 3:12. That's the 90-minute theory. I call it the 90-minute theory. You were running in that 90-minute, which is Sigma Chi fraternity boys running, so you would have known because you were working as the sober guy. I find that to be very interesting. And you put yourself up now into this whole investigation because everyone can see what you said. You said you saw Zana that night. You spoke to Zana. So you're one of the last witnesses to see Zana alive. Where was Ethan when you saw Zana? Where was Ethan is my question. Did you go after them after the fight? Did it get nasty? Did it get bitter? Was Ethan and Zana chilling at home? And probably they got attacked by the Alpha Kappa Lambda boys. Are they possibly working with y'all? I could imagine y'all all have different separate motives and beef. But what happened that night? Did your friend, your boyfriend, David Lord, take you too far? Were the frats watching? Which of the surviving roommate do you know? Is it Bethany Funk or was it DM? Why didn't you allegedly, if you all did this crimes, why didn't you all unalive DM and BF? There's 3 unidentified male DNAs. Did they take any male DNAs? Any samples? Did they check y'all? Did they check the other fraternities? The Sigma Chi fraternity boys? Your fraternity boys? Did they check the Alpha Kappa Lambda? The Banfield boys? Because they were out that night. And Saeed? Who did they check? Who didn't they check? Where were the Jacks? Where was David Lodge, David B? Did you all answer all those questions to the police? Allegedly, you all don't have cameras. Red flag number 1. Around such a big property called Sigma Chi fraternity. Number 2. There is a big red flag is the figures running. Where did they come from? Is that why you'll change the timeline? The timeline made more sense between 3 to 4, like the police said. It was them who came out with the timeline. Did y'all give BK up because he was weird? What was going on? The Sigma Chi fraternity boys asked me how to get away with unaliving people. That is what Dave said. Do you remember? Not this Dave. Dave, it could have been him. The Dave that called in T-Rev said that the Sigma Chi fraternity boys asked him how to get away with unalivings. Quite interesting. And then later on, T-Ray was very blunt and direct towards him. So the person started chickening out. He said it was Sigma Chi boys from Utah, but it wasn't. It was one of these guys playing a prank. He looked like he was enjoying, I hate to say, taking kind of credit and playing games with people after the unalivings. He had fantasies of unalivings, so there was something clearly wrong with him. They all needed to be mentally evaluated, honestly. It wasn't only BK. All these students was on Yik Yak app. It's an app that these college students have. It's a college student app. They were sending pictures that night. Ethan and Zan and Kaylee and Maddie, his phones were quiet. It was only Bethany Funk and Dylan who were on social media that night. This guy was on social media a lot. He had weird, sick pictures on his TikTok. And he was just talking about his TikTok account. He was saying people are harassing him because the pictures were so disturbing. I can't even play his interview because it's from the Amazon and they gave me a copyright strike. So I don't even understand why it's worth paying for it if you can't play it. But what I'm trying to say with this young man is don't let looks deceive you. David B. is really taking the mick. He has the audacity to come even in this interview and pretend like nothing happened. I want to know when he met Zana, what they spoke about, what time it was. I want to know where all the other fraternity boys were, especially the Sigma Chi fraternity. Who took out the cameras from there? You pre-planned this well, allegedly, because, like Fochan said, you were going to delete all the social media from 2000 and above, which you all did. Sigma Chi did that on their Facebook, on their Twitter and everything. What were you all hiding? You said you were going to do it within 19 minutes. No phones shaking. That's what you all said. No GUN. Too loud. 2:53. It's quite strange. That's the last call Maddie calls Jack D. Was Jack D with y'all? And then from 2:53 right up to 3:12 is 19 minutes when the figures are running. David B. David B. and David L. and Pete Rock, and many of the guys in the Sigma fraternity, and the Alpha Kappa Lambda boys in Banfield and Said, Nate, and the Jacks, Adam. There's one thing interesting. Allegedly, the book says, the American, what was it called? American Psychopath, was it? The book that was written that came out recently by the two authors, the female and male, interestingly enough spoke about Adam Lauder, Eva Wood, and another mate of Adam Lauder. I don't think it was Jack D. It could be Jack D. Someone in the house that he shared a house or rooms with, were all subpoenaed to testify by Ann Taylor for the grand jury, but then later on she dropped it. She even subpoenaed Enan Hush, if you remember. There was three unidentified male DNAs, so she was subpoenaing people. Adam Lauder, somebody else who lives with him, that's Sue, Everwood, the girl who lives next door, opposite them, 3, and a couple of other people, the surviving roommates, were all subpoenaed. Jody was subpoenaed to testify. Jody says that she and Emily found, and Maisie found, Showalter to be a red flag. They were very suspicious of him, and Emily said that she called the police and she told them about what she knew about Jack Showalter. Isn't that interesting? So Showalter was sus for Emily and for Maisie, Ethan's sister. And I find it interesting that Hunter Chapin said that they chilled with him last. Let me know what y'all think about this. Please like, share, and subscribe.